The best game talk in the feeds to me so far this season was Angela and Dee having a debrief on the HOH bathroom floor, which is very gross. I could never. Hello everybody, back for another quick Big Brother 28 update. Quick because this cast really is not giving so far. I do find this cast overall to be pretty damn bland. Not very engaging to watch on live feeds overall. Like, it is giving Big Brother 22 small stars level of boring. I think adding vets to the mix really can mess with dynamics because the newbies in the cast just kind of become the supporting cast to the vets who don't want to mess with the vets mostly. Like, the Big Brother 25 cast is the last cast I could think of that did bore me, but that was at the end of the season. Because usually on feeds, these first few weeks are the most messiest, usually. Because at least Big Brother 25, you still had Izzy, who was entertaining and always spiraling. This cast doesn't have anyone like that, at least not right now. But here is the stuff I did gather from this bland cast. Haley noticed that Devens and Drew are close, which is a good thing to clock. Haley is a very unlikable person. And on feeds, not only is she the blandest of the bland personalities, but she also has big hater energy too with most of the other girls in the house. However, I do think that Haley is at least very observant. And other than when it comes to Dee, who I feel like she trusts, even though Dee's just playing that alliance. But she has good reads on everyone else that isn't Dee right now, I kind of think. Jason told Lyric that he threw Devens' name out in front of Angela, and that Angela went right upstairs, and then Devens came down and asked him if he wanted to play pool. Jason said, and I quote, "Because obviously Angela, Devens, and Dee are working together. They're dividing and conquering. I threw Devens' name out in front of Angela just to see how she would react. She left right away, and now he's trying to buddy up to me." Jason is clocking that because that's exactly what the vets are trying to do. Divide and conquer while working together. I think that Jason has a very good read, and I like that Jason is staying on the vets' asses. Someone has to on this cast, because I will say that if all three vets make jury, I will have to consider this the worst cast of all time with gameplay, which Big Brother cast seem to try and shoot for these days, because all three vets making jury wouldn't happen if all the newbies were really here to play. Let's just be honest. Jason also doesn't like the trio of Kamu, Chuck, and Haley. He at one point said yesterday, Haley's strong, Kamu's strong, and Chuck is strong, but they're dumb. They're dumbbells. And overall, working together, when they do put their brains together, I don't really feel like they come up with good ideas, because there's a lot of delusion with those three working together. Jason's also just really been playing Angela. I think Angela has been trying to get close to him, but Angela's not his first person on the list. He's definitely going after Devens before Angela, but he's doing a better job of playing Angela. With Dee leaning towards Ashley as the renom, Angela, Devens, and Drew did discuss a potential blindside if Ashley were to hit the block, and they would just say that Ashley's the target, but then flip it and vote out Yash or Taylor. Angela does not like Melody. When these three were talking, Angela, Devens, and Drew, Angela said about Melody, "I do not like that girl at all. When I listen to that girl talk, I want to put needles in my eyes." Devens then says, "That's how I feel with LaLa. LaLa bugs the shit out of me." Drew then said, "Me too. It's a lot." So Devens at that point was kind of putting out there that he would like to push for LaLa to go home this week, but Angela had to be the one to tell him, of all people, that it's too much too soon. But he was talking about how you can't trust him in the game sense when it comes to LaLa, which just means it's personal with LaLa, because Devens also had a conversation with Kamu about how Latrice drives him nuts. Devens been sketchy so far with the black women, let's be honest. He didn't hug Taylor and pretty much ignored her when he first walked in. Now he doesn't like LaLa. Devens always talked all this shit about Big Brother fans and how he was afraid of them. Well, he probably should be, because if he keeps this weirdness with the black women, there could be some educated guesses we can make about him, about how he sees the black players. I will give Devens this, though, as far as Latrice is right now, because I wouldn't want to listen to Latrice's voice right now either. In fact, I don't like listening to it on the feeds, because she lost her voice too. When Lyric lost her voice, she was talking in that baby speak. Latrice has lost her voice, and she kind of does sound like she's on the brink of death. It's the damn raspiest voice. She has that Love Island rasp when some of the Love Islanders get that rasp in Fiji, but it's like 10 times worse than that. But still, Devens has been weird with the black women so far this season. Taylor and LaLa and Jason did have a conversation how they need to keep Mallory around and hopefully try and get closer to her. I do feel like Mallory is still up for grabs with anyone, although Angela is the one that tries with Mallory most. But Taylor told LaLa and Jason that Mallory would put up all three of Haley, Chuck, and Kamu if she won HOH, which made Jason start twerking in happiness. Like I said, though, Angela is the one mostly reaching out to Mallory. I feel like she has gained Mallory's trust because she was there for Mallory when Mallory was spiraling when she was on the block. Again, Angela's social game this season is so much better. We'll see how it goes when she gets too paranoid, though. Yash pitched an alliance to Rome with him, Rome, Jason, Taylor, Barrett, and LaLa. Rome wanted Lyric in that, of course, as a seventh, because that's his showmance. Yash is excited to try and get that alliance going, but I feel like he needs to worry about staying this week first. If he doesn't win Blockbuster, I think Yash is the one going home, and I think Yash is the one having the most trouble overall finding people to work with, but he doesn't go about it the best way either. Yash is definitely one of those players that yaps too much, and some of that stuff has already come back to bite him, and it seems like that is the reason why he is in trouble already anyway. Melody and Haley had a conversation if Kamu and Haley might be a showmance. Haley said, listen, I went to him, I said, you're hot, I'm hot, it's not happening. We didn't say it like that. We're just not into showmance things. I know we look good together. I know people are going to talk, but I don't do PDA. To me, this was Haley's way of saying she only dates white guys, because she would have showmance with Rome, as we found out on the feeds, the first night the feeds turned on. Dee did bring up Ashley to let Ashley know she's probably going to be the renom, although she was faking it, saying she was really considering Barrett too, because her whole thing was putting people in from each groups, the three different groups that played on the premiere, and then the two that hasn't is who it's coming down to with Barrett and Ashley now. But in this conversation, I don't think Ashley was convinced that she would be safe, which she shouldn't be. Nobody wants to be a pawn on the block. And even though Dee and Ashley compared notes on Haley about how she loves to go around talking shit about people, Ashley never pushed for Haley to go up. Now, I don't think that Dee would do that anyway, because right now she's trying to still fake it with that trio, the red corner. But Ashley did push hard for Barrett to go up as a replacement. If that news gets back to Barrett, that could be a vote against Ashley. I know people are shipping Ashley and Barrett out there, but I don't see it for them. Haley and Chuck ended up interrupting this conversation between Ashley and Dee. That's all Haley does, is interrupt conversations, honestly. Dee was about to go downstairs and cook for LaLa when Haley pitched that LaLa should be the renom. I think Kamu already pitched this to Dee the night before. So when Haley left, Dee gave us a cam talk saying that these people think she's stupid. She thinks people think that they can make her do whatever they want. But she's not going to put up LaLa. She sees that as socially stupid. It seems like Dee's whole strategy as first HOH is just to be as safe as possible and get as little blood on her hands as possible. It's why her excuse for the noms is, I just put someone from each group. It's a very stupid reasoning, but I guess it's very safe and does keep blood off her hands, and it seems to be working. As far as Dee and Barrett go, I will say Barrett later was holding hands with Dee, but then Barrett has also been spending a lot of time with Taylor, laying close together, kind of rubbing, well, not rubbing, but like touching arms and shit. I feel like, Barrett came into the game saying he was going to do the flirty game. And that's exactly what he was doing with both Taylor and Dee yesterday. I do want to note Haley also interrupted the time between Taylor and Barrett as well. Ashley was talking to Melody about how Dee said she was going to nom someone between her and Barrett, but it was clearly leaning towards her. Melody tried to help Ashley with the pitches she would do if she does end up on the block. Melody's also worried that there was a day one alliance and they're not in it, because Melody says she heard Ashley's name via Rome as an option to go up. So Ashley thinks that it's Rome that's really going hard against her, and maybe there's this alliance with Rome. Ashley was wondering why Dee is so tight with Barrett. So they're questioning if Dee and Barrett are close, because it didn't seem in that conversation that Ashley had with Dee that Dee was really considering Barrett. Every time Ashley would push for Barrett, Dee would focus back on how Ashley just needs to fight to stay. They also questioned Haley too. A lot of people questioning Haley. Like I said, she's observant, her social game, ass. But yeah, Melody talked about how she wants a solid alliance, but she's kind of running out of time on getting that. And then Haley came and guess what? Interrupted this conversation between Ashley and Melody. She did a lot of interrupting over the past 24 hours. I just know Haley's going to keep getting on people's nerves. The best game talk in the feeds to me so far this season was Angela and Dee having a debrief on the HOH bathroom floor, which is very gross. I could never. But they were doing it so nobody could hear them talking in the HOH room. It's further away from the door to the HOH room. Still, people would just have to hear me if I was in the house, because I'm not going to sit on the floor. And at one point, Dee was laying on the floor. Very gross. But Angela talked about how she's iffy on Drew in their alliance. They need to watch Drew. So Angela has her eyes on Drew, and Drew is a little sloppy with conversations sometimes, in my opinion. They both love Barrett, though. Those are their soldiers right now, is Barrett and Drew. And this is what I talk about with Drew and Barrett marking out for the vets. The vets just see them as their soldiers going to war to die on the front lines. They did talk about Rome, though, and how they think Rome is super insulated because he gets along well with a lot of people on the cast. Dee also told Angela that if Yash wins Blockbuster, she kind of wants Ashley to go over Taylor, and Taylor would stay. But there's many conversations to be had regarding that. Kamu definitely wants to keep Taylor safe, though. He would even campaign for her, which I don't know if that would be a good thing or a bad thing, but she told him that he doesn't have to campaign for her. She thinks she could get 7 votes, although she needs 8, because if there's 7, it would be a tie, and Dee would have to break the tie. But Kamu is trying to convince Taylor she needs as many votes as possible. He doesn't want it to be close, which he's right about. So I do hope Taylor listens to Kamu and will, try and fight to stay with more than just the 7 or 8 votes she thinks she can get. Lyric was happy with Jason, thanking Jason for telling her that Kamu was throwing her name out, because now she knows she can't trust Kamu. Jason made an alliance with Lyric and Rome, the showmans, that he's calling the Love Triangle, which I do like the name. But he also made an alliance with Melody and Drew that he's calling the Jesters. Although Jason needs to be careful with Drew, because Drew will go right back to Devens with information like he already has done with Melody, which I still think is too soon for Drew to be doing. Jason also has a trio with Rome and LaLa called Mama's Angels. Jason made a lot of trios yesterday. He seems to be trying to get himself into a bunch of trios for now. Rome told Jason and Lyric that Dee told him Haley wanted her to put up Latrice because it would get to certain people, which made Rome know that Chuck and Haley are trying to get to him by taking out LaLa, because Rome has had conversations with Chuck about Latrice. So that was another hiccup from Chuck's not very good social game or strategic game. I don't really know what Chuck is doing. Chuck came into this game talking about how he really wants to work with the women, but yesterday he seemed to be wanting this alliance with mostly men and Haley. Jason did talk about how he wants the vets out because they're going to get all the screen time right now, which he's right about. And I do wonder if Jason feels some kind of way that he's not considered a reality television show icon, Because if Devens and D are considered icons, then we could consider Jason one too, honestly. Though I do think Jason does seem to like D the most out of the vets, which I feel like a lot of people do. Maybe it's an age thing that D seems more trusted by these younger folks, but I don't want to like totally dismiss D's credit because she has to be doing something right in her social game. She's the HOH, she's won Survivor before, and yet as far as the vets go, they are just not looking at her compared to Angela and Devens. So D definitely doing something right.